Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host Indie Comics Jones. Today is December 31st, 2020. Happy New Year's Eve to everybody. We're looking forward to a nice 2021. Let's all pray that it's a little better, just at least a little better than 2020. Okay, this is episode 168 as we look at Shang-Chi, number 4 from Marvel. This is a $3.99 comic. And let's take a quick look at the cover before we go ahead and check out the credits here. We got Shang-Chi grabbed by some kind of demon dragon. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be exactly. I believe this character is in the book, but they draw it quite differently. And this actual scene does not occur at all. So let's take a look at the credits real quick. Shang-Chi. All right. It's written by Jean Luen Yang, and he has done a pretty good job for the first three. Dyke Ruan is the artist, and then we have Philip Tan as the flashback artist, and I'm assuming it's when they're drawing some of the more legendary stuff within this comic. Now, I just want to mention that this comic is a recommend as long as you've read the first three. This one is more of a filler issue. It's not really moving the story along that much. It is a setup for the final issue, which will be issue number 5. And then I think we're going to be looking at the Legend of Shang-Chi arc, which will be written by a different writer. But so far, this comic's been pretty good, pretty strong. Like I said, this issue is a little more weak and more of a filler type. So let's get into it right now. Well, you get a little blurb, which is kind of nice, kind of gives you up to date. As you remember, there's 5 houses of the martial arts there. And Shang-Chi is the hand. Then we have I'm trying to remember, the saber. The dagger, the club, and the staff. And the staff has been killed off by the club. So we've also got an evil uncle lurking in here. It got a little confusing in this because you start getting quite a different story. We left at the last issue. They were whisked away from, I believe it was Europe, France, to China, where they are going to try to talk to the spirit of Chang Li's uncle, and I think his name is Zheng Zhu. And one of the reasons he wanted to talk to him is Shang-Chi has a bad scar or a bad wound on him that won't seem to heal. So they need to get that fixed up before he can take on his sister of the club, who is trying to take over the whole, be the commander of all the arms and martial arts. So one of the things on this also that was a little bothersome was the way that the Sister of the Dagger was drawn. She looks like she's 8 years old in a couple of these frames here. Not real old. It's not until she gets to the fight where she changes and looks a bit older. But even here she looks very, very young and very tiny as well. Now this guy is much bigger than Shang-Chi, but Shang-Chi is gigantic compared to the way they're drawing Sister of the Dragon, and I don't remember her being that small in the other issues. Now here's one of the cool monsters that they have to fend off, basically, and they've gone into the cave. They have to go through the cave to get to the uncle's tomb. So the Saber brother and Dagger's sister, they take on the monster basically so that Shang-Chi can slip on past. Now meanwhile, back in London, this is the MI6 group is dealing with the MI5 group, the spies that Shang-Chi used to be in, and they are trying to take down the House of the Club, which is actually using the House of the Staff as their headquarters now, which was based in London. And so the MI5 kind of blows off the warning from MI6. They go in and they immediately get shafted by spears. and they are going to be made into the Shang-Chi, which are kind of a zombie flesh-eating army under the control of um, the sister of the club, and she's a massive brute. In the last issue, we found out that she felt she had been betrayed by Shang-Chi, and she grew up wanting revenge, plus to be in command of all the martial arts. Then we go back to the cave in China, and the war goes on a little bit between the sister Dagger and the brother Saber. Shang-Chi finally makes his way away out to the end of the cave, while the others two contend with, and they get this beautiful shot here. The art actually picks up a little bit better here. It struggled a bit, I thought, in the beginning, but we do get it tightened up a bit here. So he goes ahead and does the sweeping ritual of the tombstone, gives food, drink, and lights some incense, and the spirit of his uncle does appear. And the more that he consumes the offering, the more he looks like the uncle. And then the uncle goes in and tells the story of basically what happened. Shows that, the scars, a good scar brought him to him. This is the flashback, I believe they talk about. So the drawing's a little bit different in this part, and you can see there's a little bit of action in, and it turns out the British have a wizard working for them as well, and he's able to conjure up an army to attack the 5 martial arts and take them down pretty easy. And they also give, as you can see, they're pretty cool looking. The guy's got like a heat vision front slot there. You can see him using it here against, I believe this is Shang-Chi's father. So Shang-Chi's father's dying. The uncle is trying to help him with some kind of power stone, but it means that if he heals the father, that he'll die. The father grabs the stone away just in time from the uncle and gives the power back onto him, making him a superior being, and he's able to ward off the supernatural beings that came from the British side. And then we're back at the tombstone, and the uncle basically tells him, "I tricked you into coming here. You've got more ahead of you." So in the meantime, Shang-Chi goes back into the tunnel where his brother and sister are still fighting this demon, and with all 3 of them together, they're able to finally take it down, and they plan on marching off back to meet the sister of the hammer, or the sister of the club, excuse me, as we get a look at a close-up of, I don't know if this means anything, but this is the brother of the saber, and a close-up of his eyes, so I don't know if there's something going on with him now. He's always was Shang-Chi's best ally in all this, and we get Sister Dagger getting young, very, very young again, and very small. So, just kind of a filler issue. I kind of went through the whole thing. Here is the cover for the last issue, and you can see it looks like Sister of the Hammer or Club is getting beat by Shang-Chi, while the other 2 stand back. So I don't know if Brother Saber is going to have a bigger part of this. Looks like what was the former headquarters of the staff is in flame. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I guess it's going to be a pretty wild last issue, since this one was kind of not a lot happened in it as far as action. Just kind of a lot of setup and mostly filler. So that's my review on this. It's a review. Like I said, it's a review if you've read the first 3, so you can continue and finish up with the final climactic issue, number 5. I think that's probably going to be pretty good. So thanks for stopping by this New Year's Eve. This is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes, hoping that for 2021 you do subscribe, and as for this review, you leave comments and likes. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, this is Indie Comics Jones. not only bidding you adieu, but wishing you a happy new year. Take care.